This may not be the update that a lot of Canucks fans have been looking forward to, but it's one that I think we need to get out of the way. So, today we're talking about the newly appointed captain of the Vancouver Canucks, Quinn Hughes. It was a big deal a few days ago when he was announced the captain in the middle of my vacation. I had to step out onto the balcony and record a quick little vlog, which y'all seem to like and appreciate, so I'm happy for that. But with Quinn Hughes being the captain, we had ourselves a bunch of media done. We had the press conference with Patrick Allvin. You had Rick Tocchet there. You even had Miller, Demko, and Petey also there to watch everything go down. So that's cool to see Canucks players, Canucks stars even, being there for their teammate. But the one perspective that I wanted to talk about, whom we haven't really mentioned much over the past little while, and you can kind of hear my smile as I'm saying this, is former Canucks captain Bo Horvat. Because you had yourselves, after the Hughes captaincy announcement, Ian McIntyre publish an article on sportsnet.ca wherein he interviews Bo and gets a bunch of comments regarding the new captain. So, without further ado, we're going over onto this piece. Horvat confident Hughes can handle the heavy burden of the Canucks captaincy. Published by Ian McIntyre yesterday, September 12th. The link is going to be in the description if you want to read more about this on your own time. But it is interesting how the Sportsnet editors went out there and labeled the title of the piece. The heavy burden of the Canucks captaincy. Okay. Now, just to establish it here, if you're kind of pinning it on McIntyre for writing this headline, that's not really what the writer does. The writer usually writes the body of the articles, the titles and stuff. That's not usually a job done by Ian McIntyre or the writers themselves. It's normally a few other people that brainstorm together the titles for articles. But either way, if you go over into the piece, former Canucks captain Bo Horvat does not have to duck anymore. The most identifiable and exposed face of the franchise during some of the Canucks' most turbulent and disappointing seasons this century, Horvat's blockbuster trade to the Islanders last January removed that hefty C from his jersey. And he couldn't be happier that it landed on the chest of the Canucks defenseman Quinn Hughes, who was named Monday to succeed Horvat and become the franchise's 15th captain. Let's get into the comments made by Bo. There's so many great guys in that team. It really didn't matter who they gave it to, Horvat said Tuesday in a telephone interview from Long Island. But I mean, if it was going to be a guy that I would pick, it would be Hughesy. I definitely think they made the right choice there. And you could see the solidarity because Bo Horvat did post multiple Instagram stories congratulating Hughes. The first one, he goes out there and says it couldn't have happened to a better guy. And then he also posted a picture of him and Hughes celebrating, of course, back when he was a Canuck. I really saw the evolution. As Quinn Hughes matured and got older, and I watched him grow over the 4 years that I played with him, you obviously saw the captain qualities develop. He's passionate and he wants to win. I think that's his biggest quality, that he's competitive and hates it when we lose. Those are things that you want in your captain. But he's also respectful. He never puts anybody down. If something happens on the ice, he takes the blame. I think those are all good qualities that a captain needs. You don't blame your teammates, you're picking guys up when they're down. And I respect him for that. And this is why I wanted to read this interview, you know? Like, I know Canucks fans have their perspectives and their ideas about Bo Horvat ever since the way he left and the "I'll tell you that for free" comments, because that was pretty out of pocket, not gonna lie. I'm still not completely over that, but while the Bo Horvat departure was not the best, while we can truly say that there were difficult feelings for Canucks fans at the time, I think most of us can recognize at the same time that Bo Horvat, when it comes to providing a statement or saying something about something else, he's normally pretty good at that. Like, he was the captain of this team for a reason, so him going out there and articulating why Quinn Hughes was the right choice to be the next captain, I really appreciate that. And he's doing a pretty good job at justifying, showing off, and saying, hey, this is the guy that Quinn Hughes is. He is a gamer, he is always in it, he's in it to win it, and he never brings anybody down. That is captain material. And we saw this, of course, at the end of last season, too. The moment Quinn Hughes was given the microphone to speak out to fans at Rogers Arena, we all kind of had this idea, okay, they are giving Hughes a lot more responsibility than a normal hockey player would be given. You don't normally see this happen, so Quinn, captain material? Hughes called Horvat during the summer to ask about the challenges of captaining the Canucks, and then again on the weekend after he was offered the job, following a dinner in Vancouver that included Francesco Aquilini, Jim Rutherford, Patrick Allvin, Rick Tocchet, and Hughes' parents. Man, imagine going to Eliza that day, and you see across the room Aquilini, Hughes, and Hughes, Rutherford, Allvin, and Tocchet. That must have been a great dinner. Now, of course, I'm just kind of joking around. We don't know if they went to Eliza or if they went to any other Aquilini-owned restaurant, but Quinn Hughes called Horvat more than once to get his perspective as to being the captain and all that. He was asking questions, just getting some insight into what it was like, Horvat said. I also really respected that he called me to give me the heads up that it was happening, but I wasn't surprised. He's an unbelievable kid, and he's turning into a good man. He already is. He deserves it. He gives everything he has every single night. He's a heck of a hockey player and a good guy in the room. He has all these qualities a captain needs, and I could not be happier for him. As to the advice that Horvat gave, he said, I just told him not to change. There's a reason why he's the captain now. It's just him being himself. That was the advice that Henrik Sedin gave me, and I think that's my biggest advice to him. Enjoy it. You're the captain of a Canadian NHL team with a passionate fan group that loves when you win hockey games. Obviously, they're going to be hard on you when you lose. One of my biggest regrets in leaving Vancouver is not being able to win for them. I wanted to win. I wanted to bring a Stanley Cup to Vancouver, and I couldn't get it done. That's probably my biggest non-accomplishment as a captain, but I think Quinn's got all the qualities to help turn that team around. If there's one guy that's going to lead the way on that team, it's Quinn Hughes. And man, that's... oh boy, I'm getting a little senti here. Why, Bo? Why go out there and talk about it like this? I mean, if I'm an Islanders fan reading that and I'm like, oh, what the hell? He's talking about how Quinn Hughes could help the team turn it around? I mean, by proxy, he's saying that Quinn Hughes could help the Canucks win the cup, but, like, it's really intriguing to hear Bo Horvat's perspective on all this while being the member of another hockey team. How, yeah, I wanted to win the Stanley Cup in Vancouver, but now Quinn Hughes, he's the guy that could probably help them get that done. I don't know, I got a weird feeling about that, but at face value, these are some really nice comments, so we'll let Bo get the pass for sure. It's really nice to see as well how the influence of leadership from generation to generation passes itself down, how Henrik was given advice to Horvat, and now how Horvat is given the same advice to Hughes. A lot of H's in there now that I think about it. So, Hank, of course, he is still with the team. Henrik and Daniil are part of the player development side of things, helping out the guys in Abbotsford, and of course, helping out the regular Canucks power play with Sergei Gonchar. So, we'll see whether or not there is more of a link between Hughes and the Sedins, but going from Henrik to Bo to Quinn Hughes with the same advice, that is pretty nice to see, especially considering how Henrik and Bo were pretty good captains, to say the least. Like, I know we talk about how the Canucks didn't really accomplish much under the Bo Horvat captaincy and how they were some of the worst years that the Canucks ever experienced while Bo was captain, but you know, a lot of that isn't really his fault specifically. It falls on the management, falls on the ownership, and the guys running the team. But Bo did everything he could. It just got repetitive hearing the same cookie-cutter comments whenever the team would blow leads all over again. But there are some other things talked about here in the article. A few other things about Bo Horvat and his own family. To end it all off, though, he does say this: I loved being the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. I really, truly did. If anyone was going to take the blame after a game, I wanted it to be me and not my teammates. But to come to this organization and not have that, obviously it takes a weight off your shoulders. You still want what's best for your team, but you can just kind of go play hockey. So there you go. He talks about the extra weight lifted off of his shoulders being an Islander because he does not have to shoulder the blame for all the losses, and plus the Islanders are a better team than Vancouver is on paper, I guess. And results-wise, too, I mean, 2 straight third-round appearances, all the success they have had. Sure, you have a few disappointing losses in there, but still. The Islanders are alright. Bo Horvat's making a few comments about Quinn Hughes, who is now the captain of the Vancouver Canucks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this entire commentary here? Bo Horvat speaking out. Link is going to be in the description if you want to read more. There are some other quotes that we did not read in this video, so your prerogative. It's all there to click the article and read, but I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.